Did Pixel Piece release too soon? Was Pixel Piece actually ready for release? Now, this is a serious question that I need to ask, not only myself, but everybody watching this video. Now, I still think Pixel Piece is quite an interesting game at its core. The first game, or the first Roblox One Piece anime game that we've had in a pixelated fashion. The fruits actually look nice, and a lot of the fruits function really well, even the common fruits like Kilo. Now, a lot of people said I overhyped the game, but I actually don't think that is the case. I actually always said, even in my older videos, the fruits look really good, and that was main interest in the game, the fruits looking good. Literally, the last Pixel Piece video I did before the game actually came out was me showcasing fruits. I didn't actually get to play the game, so I didn't know what the progression was like. With that being said, we're going to get into the reason why I think Pixel Piece might have actually not been ready for release. Let's go straight into it. Now, Pixel Piece's launch was a really rocky one, I won't lie to you. With all the people coming into the game at once, there was a lot of issue within public servers that I personally didn't get to experience because private servers is always the way forward, honestly, I can't lie to you. But within the first hour, if not two, hackers were running rampant within these public servers, giving away fruits. Hackers were literally able to spawn fruits. They would find players and literally just hand fruits out like Robin Hood. These guys were literally Robin Hood. They were taking from the rich and feeding the poor, quite literally. And for some reason, these hackers were able to get fruits that weren't even intended to be in the game yet. Things like Tori Tori no Mi, Smoke, and I think there was another fruit. Someone said something about Pika as well. Kind of crazy to me, I'm not gonna lie, how the hackers were able to completely get past the game's anti-cheat.
Infinite stats, oh my god guys, this game is actually, it's a joke, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how they released the game like this when they have like zero anti-cheats in the game. The game is so, like, I don't know what to say, the game is dead now. Infinite stat, that's the maximum stats you can have in the game. There's no more. I finished this, bro. I finished the game in 10 seconds. Oh my god.
Now, I actually don't blame the developers for something like that. I kind of blame Roblox, because Roblox's anti-cheat as a whole is quite terrible. And even after that, a lot of people have been complaining about how buggy the hitboxes are, public servers literally lagging, etc. Now, I did notice some of the performance issues myself. There were servers, even with my FPS unlocker on, that I was only getting 70 frames. And genuinely, that's quite the decrease from the normal 200 I usually get. So I can imagine the dropped frames on a normal computer. People were losing data left, right, and center, and I think everybody experienced the loss of data. Some people that grinded all the way to about level 90, level 100, logged back in the next day or a couple hours later, and they were level 30 for some reason. And I'm not gonna lie, that is enough reason for someone to just not want to play the game anymore. I genuinely don't blame people for stepping away from the game in that regard. As for me, it did happen to me, but I only lost about 10 to 20 levels, and I lost progression for the hockey quest, which we're gonna talk about later, because that is a joke. Now, you can give the excuse if you have 20 to 50,000 people instantly running into the game, it is gonna crash, there are gonna be problems, etc. But there have been games where that has been the case, a bunch of people going in at once, and the game didn't just completely crash and burn. So, you know, again, it might not be the devs' fault as its entirety, but they still do have a part to blame in something like this happening. But all of that's in the past now. Things have been looking a little bit more smooth. Also, there were actually servers where NPCs would completely stop attacking people. And a lot of people like that because they could farm boss quests and gain a bunch of EXP. But that is a game-breaking bug that, again, should not be happening. Now, since we delved into the talk about the content of the game, let's talk about the content of the game. Now, I do want to say Pixel Piece only actually has about 4 to 8 hours worth of actual content. Again, this is release, it is update 0, but at the same time, a game releasing shouldn't have such a small amount of content. And the only reason I say this is because players are gonna get bored and literally just complain and be like, on the first day of the game's release, yo, I've completed everything. This game was not that good. At its basis, Pixel Piece did have the standard normal Roblox anime bandit beta One Piece feel, and that is starting off at an island and then going to the next island doing some quests, and then going to the next island doing some quests. Now the islands were very pretty, but they were small and there was no depth to any of the islands. It was your standard get a quest, get money and EXP from completing the quest, get Blackleg, gets 2 sword style or whatever, and then progress to the next island. What the game did do well though was within certain areas you could get drops from not only bosses but mobs as well. Not only enhance the way your character looks, but give your player bonus stats as well. But again, there's not enough content, there's not enough different mobs to the point where it made any sense to even grind for a lot of these things. The most entertaining drop in the game was the collectible sword that you could get from Buggy Island, from Orange Town, and everything else was pretty mediocre. You didn't really need to grind out boss drops because you could really find ways to get stronger swords from the start of the game and not need to interact with any of the boss drops. Get to level 70, you do the monkey boss quest in order to get Haki. And once you get Haki, you have no real incentive to continue actually playing the game. Now, let's talk about the monkey quest. The monkey quest, in order to get Haki, you need to talk to the lady outside the monkey cave. The requirements to start the quest is 5,000 Peli or Belly, whatever you want to call it. And you need to kill the monkey boss 5 times in order to complete the quest, get Haki. And then with your Haki, there's different tiers to it. So Haki V1, V2, and V3. I heard to get to V2, you need to defeat the monkey boss at least 50 to 100 times. Now, I don't know how accurate that is, and this is probably without ×2 mastery. Again, I don't know how accurate that is. Now, the boss itself is actually very easy. And once you get to about level 70, if not 80, you have enough health regen to the point the boss doesn't even deal that much damage to you. The boss literally stands still. I didn't think the boss would actually stay still the whole fight from the teaser, but the boss is literally chained up. He screams, shouts, and knocks you back. Now again, after you complete the monkey boss, there is not a real reason to continue playing the game. Yes, max level is 200 and you're better off grinding to the max level, going to the next islands and doing what you need to do. But at the same time, there's no real reward for doing that, like at all. After you defeat the Arlong boss, you're level what? I'll assume you finally get to level 200. There's no real endgame content after that. There's nothing else to do. You've literally just bandit beat till max level and you get nothing for it. There is no endgame reward. There's no endgame content to keep the player busy, occupied, or anything of that nature. Now you can argue you have Haki, you should max out to V3 and then go do PvP, but the game's PvP isn't necessarily the best. Now I do think the devil fruits actually give PvP more of a spice, more of a kick, but at the same time the PvP itself, the base PvP, the base combat isn't very immersive, isn't very intuitive. It's really just M1 combo, block, M1 combo. It's not the most entertaining. In the nicest way possible, it's not the most entertaining PvP system. So again, you don't have a real reason to go do PvP. Now they did add the incentive of getting Yoru at the end of every week, or the top 3 people get Yoru at the end of every week. But again, there's no real point of getting that sword because even once you get it, you have nothing to do with it because the PvP again isn't the most entertaining and you would have just completed most of the overworld content at that point anyways. You need to complete the overworld content to be strong enough to even fight other people in order to get the top of the leaderboard. So again, there's no real incentive, there's no rewards for actually progressing through the game. Now what I will say is this game is really reliant. The future of this game depends on how well the next 2 or 3 updates are. Update 1 is literally this week. Update 1 is coming this week. So depending on what we get with update 1, and again it's only gonna have been a week since the game came out. Not too sure how much content they could put in the game in that short amount of the time. Update 1, update 2, and maybe update 3. By the end of update 3, if the game hasn't gone in the right or a better direction, then we're gonna know the game, you know, might just not be the one. We need more content, we need more immersive content, you know. I feel like a lot of One Piece Roblox games don't make use of making the game actually immersive. They just put a small box island with mobs on it, tell us to do a quest and move on to the next. And it's kind of disappointing, especially when the fruits are in this game are of such a high quality. The content not matching the level of the fruits it's kind of like a kick in the teeth to me personally. But the game did manage to do a lot of things well, in my opinion, mainly the fruits again. But again, that leads back to my initial question: did Pixel Peace release too soon, and was it early for release? I guess we're gonna find out within the next couple of months. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know what your opinion is of Pixel Peace. And I know a lot of you guys aren't happy. Actually give a formulated response. Don't just say the game sucks and then that's not really, say the reason why you're not feeling the game. This way it gives the devs, like, they can see what the community is not really liking about the game and improve on that within the next couple of updates. It's never too late to improve the game, and genuinely. So I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.